Hello, everybody. This is Pits to Pixels. I'm Patrick Green of Trading Technologies. I'm a product marketing manager, and this is a series I do where I kind of review some of the social media we've put out over the last week. I'm going to do the last 2 weeks today because I missed last week, and we had a short week last week, so it's really only going to be nine days worth. But let's get into it. We'll start back with the first tweet that goes back to August 29th. It's click more on bottom left corner of Market Explorer to access the advanced mode to easily find option instruments based in term and strike. We put this in an Xtrader actually a long time ago, about 10 years ago. I put this in. And part of the reason was for people could find options much more quickly, much more easily. It's a much more advanced search. It doesn't just work for options, it works for spreads as well. It's a nice little feature. A lot of people don't know about it though, because you got to go down to that little left corner of your Explorer window and click on more to actually get to it. But then you can define and pull out just single or a couple different option strikes instead of pulling out the whole series. It's a nice little tool. Get to know it. Hopefully enjoy it. Give me some feedback if you like. Next tweet was on August 30th. ADL one, love the ADL tweets. Learn how to access the data from the analytics client to use in the calculation of your own indicators. So this is a tweet that goes back to show how to actually pull indicators into, well, market data out of the analytics block in ADL. Analytics block in ADL, if you're not familiar with it, allows you to bring technical indicators into your algo. We've got a lot of pre-built technical indicators in there, like stochastics, RSI, moving average, average to range, some cool things like that. But you can also use the analytics block to pull historical data out. So by pulling historical data out, that allows you to build your own indicators as well too. So it's a very powerful tool. Get in there, read that, and learn about it. If you have questions, let me know. I'm actually working on a TT Office Hours Part 2, where we're going to go into ADL 101 a little more depth to actually show people how to use ADL with a little more detail and finesse. So that's coming up before too long. But this is a nice little starting point. The analytics block allows you to build technical indicators into your algos. Next tweet was a market update. We'll skip over that. Then we roll instruments and market grid widget forward to the next expiration by selecting roll instruments in the right-click context menu. You may also configure the instruments to auto roll upon expiration when selecting in market explorer. I actually had a customer ask a question about this 2-3 weeks ago. Asked how do I actually roll contracts on the platform. He'd been on the platform for a while too. It wasn't too intuitive, I guess. So I put this tweet out there to show people how to roll contracts. Probably a good time for it because we're getting into the equity rolls going on right now. We just missed the fixed income roll, but it's easy to roll contracts. You couldn't really do this in Xtrader very easily, but in TT is pretty easy to do. It's just simply a right click, or you can set it to auto roll. The auto roll, the way it's configured by default, the only way you can do it is basically when the contract expires, we're going to go pick up the next one. You can't say, okay, 3 days before expiration or when volume exceeds, automatically roll. You can't do that. Something we'll do at some point in time, but it's not quite there yet. But that is how you roll contracts on the platform. And actually, that's just on market grid and MB Trader. I've got another one to show you in MB Trader, but I don't think it's out yet. Next tweet: learn about the 5 different displays that are available in the fills widget: detail, summary, by order, continuous, by order, summary, price, and detail. Click through, read through that. It just shows you how you can reconfigure the fills widget in TT to actually give different displays. It works with different brokers, different traders have different ways you want to see information. So you can actually do that. You can change the complete layout. It's pretty cool. Go in, play around with it. You'll figure it out. It's pretty easy. Next tweet was market update. We're going to skip over that. Next tweet, another market update. Then we redid the roll instruments, retweeted the fills widget. Now we're looking at a market update. Now we're looking at click the order ticket widget menu icon to display available templates for the TT order type or algo that has been selected. What's this all about? First of all, remember the fact we do have templates. So if you build a certain order type, or you configure TT order type to do certain things. Let's say you want to trail by 3 ticks in crude, you want to trail by 5 ticks in the E-mini, whatever it is. Or you have an algo that you built and you have different versions of that algo, you save those templates. You can easily find those and pull those out of the platform. This is the way to do it in order ticket. Might be more applicable to brokers, but there is a good number of traders, scalpers and stuff like that, will actually trade through order ticket as well. So this is how you can actually go and pull your templates out. So if you have certain ways to do that, maybe you got a bunch of different customers, and one customer likes his icebergs to go like this, another customer likes his iceberg to go like that. You can save those templates, you can pull them out into the order ticket and use them very easily. Next tweet was new on Trade Talk, learned about the iron ore market in this conversation with Christian. Of course, iron ore futures is a big thing. We've been pushing iron ore quite a bit. We're doing a lot of that with DCE. This is an interview with SGX, Singapore Exchange, about they're offering in iron ore as well as other commodities. They do get other commodities as well too. So there's other things to offer as well at Singapore. So it's more than just iron ore over there, of course. You actually see me use it a lot. I use it a lot because I use it to use the Renminbi features that are over there. So their FX does quite well over at the SGX exchange. Another tweet, this is a market update, we'll skip over that. This next one, use the delete parent option floating order book to delete a parent auto spreader or aggregator order and leave the related child order working order. Sometimes you work an auto spreader or aggregator and you get an order that's got a nice little queue position, but you realize, you know what, I just want that position. I don't want to hedge that. I don't want to do anything with that. So I don't want to deal with putting out the other side of this spread. I just want to get that order executed. I just want to get done. You can do that. You can actually delete the parent order, which allows your current working order to continue to work. It's not going to cancel that, but all the other logic will then be canceled. So you're not going to put on an automatic hedge. So that's a nice little tool. People have asked that for a long time. Next tweet was a market update. Next tweet, learn about CME Rule 575 on flipping and spoofing in general and nuances with the rules for traders who are scalping in this Futures Radio podcast with Jay Biondo, TT, and Anthony Grilli. Futures Radio, Anthony Grilli is a great show. Hopefully you all know about that. You watch it, you listen to it, you watch them on YouTube, watching on the podcast, listen to the podcast. This one's really particularly important because we keep seeing headlines of people getting fined for spoofing, people getting fined for flipping, people getting fined for nefarious trading activities. A lot of times traders don't even know they're doing stuff that's necessarily going to be kind of like shady or that's going to look bad because they don't have bad intent necessarily. They don't necessarily have bad intent, but what they're doing could still raise some flags. This interview is primarily about that. Jay's got a massive experience with the CFTC and with the regulators. He talks about what those regulators are looking for, how to actually avoid getting that tap on the shoulder. Tap on the shoulders is the thing we used to get on the trading floors. I'm not familiar with it. Where the risk manager would walk over and tap in the shoulder and say, hey, you got to scale back. You have to take some positions off or I'm going to shut you down. So never a good thing to get a tap on the shoulder. But this is one of the ways to avoid that. You learn this stuff, you figure out how they're actually doing this. Jay talks in great detail about what they're actually looking for and why they actually go and talk to traders and say, hey, you're doing something bad here. So it's a real neat conversation. Go listen to that one. Next tip was clicking the order ticket widget menu. Like, okay, this is a repeat. Next tip was the parent auto spreader one again. Redid that. Then we had a market update. Okay, this one's a real pretty design. I worked on this one really hard. You can see, it looks real nice. Use the reset on revert parameter to reset the trade quantity counter on specific traders back to zero on the inside market, backs away from the market risk. What the heck does this mean? What this is about is, let's say you want to aggress into the market, or you have a stop based off of if 50 contracts trade at the best ask across from me. Okay, and the market goes and trades that best ask like 5 times, and then it backs away, and then the best ask goes down one tick lower, and then it goes up again, starts trading again. What the reset's going to do is, if you don't have reset on, after it trades 5 and pulls away, it goes back. It's only going to trade 45 more times for it to actually trigger. But now with the reset, if it trades 5, pulls away, then goes back, it's got to start right back at 0 again. It's got to trade all 50 contracts before you're going to trigger that stop or trigger whatever you're going to do. So that's what the reset does. It basically resets it back to your initial quantity. Instead of using, you get a partial, goes away, go back and get a partial again. No, you get a partial, it goes away with the reset. You got to go back to the whole thing again, back from scratch. That's a little more security for you a little bit there. Next tip on September 1st, learn about the actions you can cause your algorithm to pause or cancel to configure your smart trading order block to leave child orders in the order book should this occur. Okay, so essentially what this whole tweet is about, click into the article, and I'm going to click into the article right now, and it's going to show you a little bit of what leave orders on cancel or pause really means. Because sometimes something might happen in the marketplace, or something might happen with your algo that pauses it or cancel it, but you don't want your order to be pulled out. You still want that order in there because it's managing risk, it's doing whatever. So that's a way to learn how to do that, so you don't have to get your order pulled. It'll just stay in there and keep working. Next tip is a market update. We're going to skip that. Next tip was the revert again. We're going to skip that. Then we're at the cancel again from your algo. We're going to skip that. Use precondition of trail with the TT bracket order to follow the market lower and execute a buy order when the market order bounces higher. What's that all about? Okay, so what this is really doing is, I'm trying to get into the preconditions. What the preconditions do over here on the left is preconditions actually set up information and tell the algo what it has to do before the original order is even placed. So you're adding additional stuff. you're adding additional stealth into the marketplace and say that, hey, before I even put this bracket order in the market, this other condition's got to be met first. So that's what that tweet is all about. The scale of that. So that's a cool little function, cool little feature, how you can actually add more stealth to your order and keep people from knowing what you're doing exactly at all. Next tweet was a market update. I'm gonna skip that. Next tweet. Quickly change the chart widget interval by clicking on the chart and typing the number of minutes you wish to use for each interval. A lot of people don't know this. If you're sitting in like a daily chart, you can just click on the chart, type in 60, you're going to go to an hourly chart, or you type in 5, you're going to go to a 5-minute chart. Real quick, easy way to change your chart interval. It's a nice little tool. And by the way, the clicking on the chart, you can do a lot of stuff. You click on the chart, you can start to type, you can change the instrument. Click on the chart, you start to type, you can type in STO, you're going to add the stochastics indicators, type in MOV, you can add the moving average. So clicking on the chart gives you a lot of control on the chart with the TD platform. I don't think most other platforms allow you to do that. So click on the chart, start typing, you're going to learn some cool things you can do. Next tweet, we got some market updates, There's the precondition one again. There is the chart one again. And we're down to, when using second condition with a TT order type, precisely one of the conditions must be set to LTP trigger, while the other triggers must be set to bid, ask, same, or opposite side. So when using a precondition order type, you can only set one flag. One of the flags has to be based on LTP. The other flag can't be based on LTP. It has to be set to same side, opposite side, bid, or ask, or something like that. So you basically can't set all of your triggers on the same flag. Basically, you have to have a different flag for the different triggers, because there's multiple triggers. When you're using preconditions, you've got a trigger for the initial order, then you have a trigger to actually execute that order. So there's two triggers. You have to use different indicators or different flags for those two different triggers. Next tip: use ADL to build your own conditional order type. In this example, an aggressive buying order in micro E-mini NASDAQ 100 futures triggers a market order in micro E-mini S&P 500 futures. So this is a really cool thing. Look at how easy this is. This is like 10 blocks. I built this in like 6-7 minutes. Tested it, deployed it. Works like a charm. Works like a peach. It's great. It's awesome. Real easy to do. You can build this. This is a very simple thing to do. It's just a conditional order type. This conditional order type is built in TT order type. But what I'm trying to show here is you can build them in ADL as well too, and you have even more control of what you want to do with that conditional order type. Real simple, real easy. It's like boom, bang, boom. Go learn that stuff. If you have questions about it, ask me. I'm more than happy to show you how to do this stuff. Back to the conditional order type. Now we're down to change instruments in the chart pane of TT Mobile by tapping on the instrument name and selecting from your list. So when you tap on that top there, in the top there it says GE June 21. If you tap on that with your finger, it's going to bring the list of all the other contracts you have in that market list. So you can quickly scroll through charts that way. It's a real cool feature. Nice way to go through and look at markets real quick and see what's going on. So you can do that in any of your market cards on TT Mobile. It's a nice feature. Get to know it. I hope you like it. If you have any feedback, let me know. That's a feature I actually put in a long time ago when I was working on the mobile app. Next tip: quickly roll chart instruments forward by dragging and dropping the new instrument into the chart widget. So a lot of people don't know this either. Let's say you got charts, like right here's a real example. You got 3 charts in your market grid, or 3 charts in your workspace, and you want to roll those contracts forward. The easiest, fastest way to do that is just drag it out of market grid and drop it in there. And I show it very graphically how that works. Let me expand this up a little bit. So you can see how this works. Again, you just left click on it, drag it, drop it down where it wants to go, and boom, you'll see the contract roll forward. So there's a neat little trick for rolling contracts, quickly and efficiently on your charts. Next tip is use Algo dashboard TT Mobile to monitor and manage running algos, including TT order types and use defined algos. So you launch algos and you want to go to the office, you want to do stuff, or you launch algos, you have algos running all the time, and it's Sunday night, market's going to open up. You want to start those algos up, and you're out of dinner. You can do that if you haven't paused. If you haven't paused on the TT platform, you're out of dinner, you're wherever you want to be. You pull out your phone, you click re-enable, it's going to start that algo going for you. So you can do a lot of stuff with your mobile phone to manage and control your algo. So get and explore that. You're going to find a great deal of functionality there that you probably don't know about, and it's a great little stuff to have around. Next tip is market update. We're going to skip that. Then we have the rolling charts again. We're going to skip that. We have market update. We're going to skip that. Listen to how the Features Radio show trading tips and advice from Merritt Black, Jim Dalton, Leif Sorley, and Jay Biondo. So this is an update tweet for more stuff that went on Features Radio last week. A lot of good people to talk to, a lot of good people to learn from. Get in there, check it out. Next tweet was the algo dashboard again on TT Mobile. Next tweet was rolling again. Then we get a market update. Okay, now we have, this was a great one because this is when I was featured in a good deal. This tweet was about get a brief overview of all TT order types in this initial episode of TT Office Hours. TT Office Hours is a reoccurring webinar in which TT customers may ask questions and learn about features of the TT platform. This is a program that I came up with and I'm running at TT, and I'm actually putting on probably once a month. I'm going to put on a webinar, about a 45-minute webinar, and talk about a certain part of the platform in particular. 2 weeks ago, I talked about TT order types, explained all the different TT order types, how to use them, how to configure them, what they're there for, why we have them out there. It's a great little educational show. If you have questions, send them in. And what we also do is I also ask people the same question beforehand. So I had like 13, 14 questions coming beforehand about stuff that had nothing to do with TT order type. So I answered a bunch of other questions as well too. That had to do with ADL, had to do with different parts of TT. So you can always send the questions to me and we'll answer them there in the webinar. But the next webinar should be later this month, and hopefully you get a chance to come in there. But again, click through here. It's available on YouTube. You can click right through here, click on here. Or you can, of course, just go to the Trading Technologies YouTube page, and you're going to get there. So hopefully you enjoy that. Pause this one right now. Pause that. Pause this again. I've got 5 versions going.
And one of the nice things about Secure too is the fact that you can configure them.
All right, that's all pause. Sorry about that. Let's go back to where we are. It was market update. We're going to skip that. Now we have use the availability on conditional order types. We already covered that one. Market update. We have a market update. Get a brief overview. This is once again about TT office hours. ADL and conditional order types. Market update. Offset one or more local admin fields using the clone and reverse drop-down menu on positions manager window. Someone asked me simply, they were frustrated because they would make an error sometimes to put in a manual fill on the TT and they couldn't, excuse me, they couldn't delete that. This is what you can do. You can just clone it and reverse it out and it goes away. So that shows you how to do that. And it's just something that just kind of works. When people ask me questions over social media, wherever, I'll often spin it up into a TT tip. So everyone gets to learn from that. So that's one way to go about that, how to actually go and reverse out a manual fill or an admin fill on your TT platform. Market update. Now we've learned that TT score can help identify clues to spoofing, which is an attempt by 2 or more traders to deceive the market into thinking that an instrument has more interest, liquidity, or depth. So not only can we identify spoofing with TT score, but if you got 2 traders in one shop, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever it is, that are trying to gain the market, TT score can pick up on that. TT score can pick up on it, the CFTC can pick up on it too. So what this is going to do, this is going to let you know if you're a risk admin, or even if you're a group of traders and you think your trading might be a little iffy. If you run a TT score, you look at TT score, you're going to see, youch, this looks scary. This looks bad. We can't do this anymore. That's what it's there. So go in here, you can click through this, you can click on the link. It's going to take you to TT score and the help library and talk to you about what clues to spoofing is. And you can learn how to not do that. The TT score will help you identify that when it looks nefarious, looks bad, looks shady. A couple of TT updates, back to the positions manager widget. Then we have TT score again. Then we have a market update. Then we have use conditional OMA, one or more to trigger condition for a working second order. In this example, the buyer order does not go to the exchange matching engine until the sell order is executed. So what I'm looking at right here is, let's say, let me expand this up a little bit. What we're looking at right here is essentially, I want to sell 15s, and as soon as I sell 15, market's trading what, 11, 12 right now. I want to sell 15s. As soon as I get filled at 15, I want to put a buy-in down at 14. You can do that with the conditional order type on TT. That is a neat little way to go in and say, hey, not only do I want to sell up here, no, watch how I do this. I click on conditional. It opens up this little pane to show you what you're doing. I click on the original place I want to sell. I want to sell 15s. And now I want to buy it back down here. So there it is. It goes in, it goes in. This flips over to working. This works over to undefined, because this shows the U for undefined or undisclosed because it's not actually at the exchange yet. It's sitting there at TT's matching end. It's sitting there at TT's server, which is co-located. It's not at the matching end yet. Once that sell order gets filled, that will go to working. The blue one will go to working, and bing, bang, boom, you're done. All right, so let's go down to let's market update. We got here. Now we have attempt to lock in more profits and limit losses with TT bracket order type configured to use a trailing stop. This is just showing you how to actually use a trailing stop with a TT bracket order. So let's start at the beginning. So you can see we're going to go click on TT bracket. I want TT bracket order. I'm going to view a profit target of 13, stop loss of 4. And now I want to use a trailing stop. So I'm going to click on the TT stop type, select TT stop, click trail, click 3, and boom, that's all there is to it. So now I click on the market grid, it's going to work on initial order. When that gets filled, it's going to put a profit order up here and a trailing stop down here. So it'll continue to follow it higher, and bing, bang, boom, there you go.
Attempt to lock in more profits and limit losses. The TT bracket.
Next, we have market updates. Next, we have market updates. Now we have another interview with Anthony Grudelli. Anthony Grudelli talks to Brian Shannon, who is Alpha Trends on Twitter. Great guy, great information. If you wanted to learn about VWAP, and a lot of people like VWAP, he's kind of the guy to VWAP. He knows this stuff exceptionally well, talks about it in detail, gives some explanation how he uses VWAP in his swing trading. So you'll learn some good tips about how to trade using the VWAP indicator in this interview on Futures Radio. Check it out. Always a good time. Last interview of the week was about Fex Global. Fex Global is an Australian power exchange that is been around for a while now, but just started to get some action in the past week. Get the opportunity, check it out. It's available on TT. Check out Fex Global. You can get to their Twitter handle. It is literally at Fex_global, and read more about the Australian futures exchange. Is offering USD and AUD energy, commodity, environmental futures, and options contracts cleared by CME. So that's what Fex Global is. They got the first trade off last week. Congratulations to them. That's the way it goes. That's it. I'm done. That is what we talked about in the last 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, send them in. We have to talk about it, and we'll go from there. Until then, take care. I'm out of here.